Hello, and welcome to Global Data Themes Instant Insights. At Global Data, we define a theme as something that keeps a CEO awake at night, as businesses that invest in important themes will succeed, and those that don't will fail. Hi, Charlotte and Beatriz. How are you?
Hey, good, Emma. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure. So, you have recently published your generative AI quarterly newsletter, the first edition, and it sounds like it's been a pretty exciting quarter for generative AI news. You guys make the very bold statement in your newsletter that recent Gen AI events could impact global IT economies. Beatrice?
Well, yes, thank you, Emma. That's right. And Global Data is forecasting the global market of artificial intelligence will be almost $1 trillion by 2030, about 900 billion to be precise, which is a lot of money. So we have seen how generative AI is shaping a lot of issues today, economic issues, geopolitical developments. For example, in China, they have prepared a number of rules for generative AI that will come out, I think, on the 15th of this month. And it seems the Chinese government originally published a draft in April that was a lot more stringent. And by stringent, I mean the content used to train the models has to abide by some principles, and there are certain topics that are taboo, like, for example, the Tiananmen Square massacre. And they have now realized that perhaps it's important for a country like China, with an incredible expertise in artificial intelligence, to soften these rules, because they have realized AI will become so important for every economy. And so the rules will now only apply to services that are available to the public in China. So this is quite an important change, because the technology developed for users outside China will be free from any government interference, and there will be no censorship of any kind. So yes, generative AI has become a big influence on the economy, and companies everywhere are moving very fast in this market.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something we're seeing a lot. All the different regions trying to balance safety, control, and then innovation. It's a bit of a juggling act. And Charlotte, you noted that some news events are reshuffling the whole of the AI ecosystem. Could you talk a bit about some of those?
Yeah, sure, Emma. Right. It's interesting. When we launched this new newsletter, Gen AI newsletter, the idea was to we're all getting so many Gen AI announcements dumped on our desks. And so Beatrice and I are trying to kind of make some sense, and then kind of even group some trends and interesting new trends and issues going on. So that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, like Beatrice said, hers and the global economy. And then another one we're seeing are how partnerships are very much at the core of a lot of these announcements. And so we kind of mentioned a few of those also. So and all these vendors have their own agenda. The hyperscalers, they're just always trying to up their game in the ongoing cloud wars. So one announcement we covered was Oracle's plans to partner with Gen AI service provider Cohere in order to make more advanced AI services available on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI. So that whole idea is that Gen AI injected cloud services help fill out Oracle's core business of its dev tools, integration, data management services, business apps, of course, and just making it more competitive in the hyperscaler cloud space. Then I thought it was kind of interesting. Another trend now that I'm seeing are the intelligent automation players. So these guys are really important because they're very much at the core of digital transformations and Gen AI. for, again, just adding the whole automation aspect. So there were a couple things going on there right now. Automation Anywhere. That was another interesting announcement recently from them, that they're going to be using their new Gen AI features, and those are powered by Google's LLM through its Vertex AI as a kind of orchestrator at the interaction layer, which is going to improve the customer experience. So the company outlined some specific use cases aimed at their verticals in healthcare, finance, and legal services. So another example, again, with trends is ServiceNow is a very important connectivity and workflow automation provider, and they're also leveraging partnerships to build a kind of on-ramp into its new offerings, Gen AI offerings, through a couple partnerships. So Accenture, they're partnering with, of course, for their very important global SI, systems integration services, and then NVIDIA for its supercomputing and software strengths. And this is a three-way partnership, and it's branded AI Lighthouse. And again, it builds on ServiceNow's proprietary LLM solution they released earlier this year. And that, to me, just represented a real powerhouse partnership, especially with Accenture just announcing that it's investing $3 billion in AI to support Gen AI and transformation projects. So yeah, that's interesting,
Wow.
Emma.
Yeah, that's some big numbers and some big names. There's just so much going on right now. So yeah, it's nice to have both of you releasing something that could filter through all that hype and get to the main headlines. So going back to also what Beatriz was saying on regulation, we're seeing a lot of announcements which are addressing the ongoing issues around things like data privacy, security, ethics. Beatriz, you noted some news around a startup in this area.
Yes, that's right, Emma. So startups, Charlotte was talking about Cohere, another important startup. And in general, they are very important in terms of technological innovation. They tend to be very much at the cutting edge. And Anthropic, which is effectively a splinter group of OpenAI, it was founded by former executives of OpenAI. So Anthropic recently announced it was launching a new large language model called Claude 2. And so to compete against ChatGPT and so on. But what is really interesting about Claude 2 actually is that it is focused on AI safety. And so Anthropic says that it has really made a big effort to make this model safe. And to achieve this, it has applied a technology called constitutional AI. Now, I have to say, this technology, constitutional AI, is not a new thing that came out with Claude 2. Anthropic has been working on this for a while. But essentially, what this means is giving language models certain values determined by a constitution rather than values determined through human feedback. So normally, when we train an AI model, there is a process that we follow. And this process involves having humans compare different responses and select the response that they feel is the better one. So choosing one that is more useful for some use cases, or perhaps in terms of safety, the answer that is less discriminatory or toxic, and so on. So in order to train a model properly with proper values, we follow this process. And then the humans then label the correct response. And this is called data labeling. So, but this process has several shortcomings. And one of the disadvantages is that it sometimes requires people to interact with quite disturbing material. So the humans who are training the model, in order to make this model safe for others, they have to expose themselves to the material they want to protect others from. And another disadvantage is that it doesn't scale efficiently. And of course, another shortcoming, it's very resource intensive, labor intensive, it takes a lot of time. And so constitutional AI tries to respond to these shortcomings by using AI feedback to evaluate outputs. So this means AI oversight rather than human oversight. And so the system uses principles to make judgments, and hence the term constitutional AI.
And Charlotte, what have you found some other companies have been doing around these kind of issues?
Yeah, no, it's such an interesting topic. Beatrice and I've been talking a lot about it, and it's great. She's gotten me even deeper into just some of the issues that also the workers in this space are dealing with. But yeah, we found another announcement this quarter that Salesforce came out with as part of its Salesforce AI Cloud, and it's a new brand called Einstein Trust Layer. And the idea there is to just, kind of reassure its enterprise customers by providing data privacy and security. Of course, what's at stake for Salesforce is they want to provide customers of its core productivity offerings, related to its popular CRM and collaboration, low code and Apex development platforms. And they want to kind of mesh that with this enterprise grade security behind the new GPT technology being injected into those core products. So again, it's just really meant to help reassure customer concerns over hallucinations, toxicity, privacy, bias, data governance concerns. Some of those things Beatrice was just, talking about.
There seems to be so many bumps that need to be ironed out in terms of using Gen AI for so many different applications. What will you guys be watching out for your next quarterly newsletter then? What do you think's on the horizon?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. I am anticipating a busy rest of the year for us, because we're getting into the fall season of conferences among a lot of the companies I cover, the cloud app platform providers. So some big shows coming up like Google Cloud Next, VMware Explorer, Salesforce Dreamforce, AWS reInvent, KubeCon, etc. And basically, what I'm going to be looking for is that we're going to see a lot of Gen AI platforms begin to unfold under various formats. Definitely, the ongoing consolidation happening in app platforms, specifically around intelligent automation and RPA, low-code platforms, observability platforms. And, these platforms present the most obvious way for enterprise developers and DevOps teams to consume and implement Gen AI to support overall app modernization efforts. So you can see, kind of based on some of these announcements we were just talking about, we just see a lot there that's going to be affecting real reshuffling of the app platform economy based on new interesting partnerships taking place, where everybody's just kind of leading with their core strengths to offer Gen AI services. And Beatrice, you've got some things you're going to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, sure. But I think in the next update to our newsletter, I think we are going to be covering more about a project called Gemini. This is the new large language model by Google that Google has been working on for some time. And for now, everything is really not a lot is out in the open. Nobody really knows when Gemini will be released. DeepMind is working on this, and hopefully by the time our newsletter is out, we will know more about it. But for now, it seems the model will be based on techniques from AlphaGo. This is an AI system that was the first one to win against a professional human player at the board game Go. And so it will be a multimodal model, artificial intelligence model. And although it's still at the training stage, Google says it will have capabilities not seen in any previous Google model, and it will have some important problem-solving capabilities. It will leverage reinforcement learning to fulfill complex tasks, and DeepMind has a wealth of experience in reinforcement learning. So it will be interesting to see where they go with Project Gemini. I think it's a very exciting time to be watching this market.
Definitely, yeah. It's so interesting to see how those sort of existing models can be repositioned for like these entirely new applications. It'll be really interesting to see what other models are repurposed for something perhaps entirely different. And yeah, I'm looking forward to those new partnerships that Charlotte mentioned. I feel like all these different big players partnering up together. It's like the announcement of like a new celeb couple. It's exciting.
Very cool.
Amazing. Thank you so much for those instant insights. I think that's all we have time for. But thanks for listening. And from us in Thematic Intelligence, see you next time.